welcome to another Security 101. And this week we want to cover cloud security, cloud safety. We get this question all the time, is the cloud safe? Or I hear people say, I don't want to put things in the cloud. Well, we're going to kind of talk about that a little bit. So cloud is a marketing term. The cloud as being things hosted on the internet has been around way before the term cloud was ever out there. So I don't know about you, but I've had a Yahoo email account for I don't know how long, more than 10 years, however long it's probably been around. And when Gmail came out, I got a Gmail account. Those are cloud services. So you have been using cloud, if you have one of those accounts, for as long as you've been using either Gmail or MSN Mail or Yahoo Mail, whatever you're using. So the cloud's not a new thing. However, the question became is it safe? Well, there's a lot more cloud services, things like Dropbox or Box.com, things like that. And are they safe? Well, each of them have their pros and their cons. I'm not going to go through all of them. But in general, I would say they are okay safe. Some are much better than others. Dropbox, to my knowledge, has not changed and it's still unencrypted. So if somebody would break into Dropbox, they could probably get your information. But then there's places like companies like CrashPlan does the online backups and things like that, that encrypts your data from the time it leaves your computer. So those are probably much more safe because unless somebody has that key, they're not going to get your data. So use some common sense and kind of look around. If you're talking things like iCloud and common things like for pictures for your phone, your pictures aren't really sensitive. So I would think you're probably safe doing that too, as well as your email. So that's a bunch of different types of cloud services. Use common sense when selecting what you want to put in the cloud, just like you need to use common sense what you want to put into your thing on Facebook, for example. You wouldn't put personal information up there that you wouldn't want anybody to know. So just be very cautious about that. Now, again, some cloud services are much stronger, but the typical cloud service that people are using, the most popular one probably that I get all the time is Dropbox. And Dropbox does not encrypt your data. So if you have information up there and somebody would hack into Dropbox, it's very, very possible they could get your information. Now you have to remember also that Dropbox is huge. So would they get just your information? For someone to log into Dropbox and download all of the Dropbox data, including your information, would take them years with as big as the database is. So what's the odds of you getting that, getting hit by that person, unless you were particularly targeted? So the other thing you can do for cloud services to keep yourself safe is change your passwords regularly, something we always say. It also use strong passwords. Don't just use your family member's names and a number or a birth date, something like that. Figure out, go out to a password generator and generate one, or go somewhere like LastPass that remembers your passwords and also generate them for you. So that's just a recommendation. So cloud services are generally safe, and we're not going to get away from these. These cloud services are going to be more and more of them coming. Things that you're used to having locally are going to be more in the cloud. It's just as time goes by, it's going to be the way we live. That's why you get things like this Chromebook right here relies on the cloud pretty much to work because it only has a web browser. So I use Google Docs a lot, and I'm comfortable with what I put in Google Docs, that it's secure enough, and I can use a Chromebook anywhere I go. And as we go forward in technology, that's just going to be the way things are. So we kind of have to accept that. Again, use common sense whenever you're putting things into a cloud architecture. Read about them. They'll generally tell you what they do as far as encryption and protection. Just make sure you read the comments and everything. And as time has gone by, I've seen things get more and more secure. You know, Gmail uses HTTPS. Back when I first started, it only used HTTP. So things like that are constantly. Plus, you also have to remember that businesses are now putting things into the cloud, and they are also checking these things out and forcing people who want to remain in business with businesses to help protect your information. So the cloud is scary to some people because the information is out in the middle of, we don't know where it's at, and that scares a lot of people. But I think in general, your data is fairly safe in the cloud. That's it for Security 101 this week. We'll see you next week. For show notes for this show, contacts, and more, go to the techzen.tv website where you can get show notes for all of our shows. We love to hear from our viewers and listeners. We have an email, a Twitter, and a phone number where you can contact us for each show. For details, visit the techzen.tv website and get the show details. You can also make a video and upload it somewhere like YouTube or Vimeo and then just send us a link. You never know, you may see your video in a future show. You can get all of our shows delivered automatically to your favorite device by going to your favorite podcast website like iTunes and subscribing. Each of our shows also has a YouTube channel you can subscribe to get regular updates. Our shows are also available on most internet radio networks, like Stitcher and TuneIn Radio. You can also watch and listen to our shows on Xbox, TiVo, and Roku. You can even find us on your Zune.